Greetings, friends, and welcome to Shakespeare's Coffee Break. I'm your friendly neighborhood Shakespeare, and I am on my coffee break. Let's start things off with a nice, noisy slurp, shall we? That's just good internet audio. I don't care who you are. Did you have a good summer? I did. I got to go and do my show in public for the first time in over a year. And it's been wonderful. I certainly hope that 2021 is going better for you than 2020 did. But, just in case it's not, or, you have a thing you want to go do, this show will remain for you right here on the internet. And of course, you can like and subscribe to it on YouTube and also on Facebook. Go like and follow the show, facebook.com/Shakespeare's Coffee Break and youtube.com/ShakespeareApproves. Today, I'm talking with one of the living legends of the Renaissance festival world, Zilch the Torysteller. And he had some Tories to stell. Is that how we say that? Tories to stell? Like, all the Tories and then also the Whigs? Are we going to talk about the Whigs at all? No? Anybody? Am I just in this studio room by myself, making like I'm having conversations with other people, but it's just me? Because I think I'm clever, or I'm having an existential crisis? Anyone? Off-screen wife, any help? No? Because you're not there, or because you're keeping silent? I guess the audience will have to come to their own conclusions. Alright. Well, let's go talk with Zilch.
How did I get so old doing this?
I don't know.
I just waited.
I hope I get old doing this. Yeah. That'd be glorious.
Well, it's in your future. If you do this long enough, I started out at 17, back when I still had prospects in the future. Are we cutting that?
No. We're keeping that. We're keeping that, internet, right. Yes. So, hello, internet. Friendly neighborhood Shakespeare here.
Hello, out there in web world. Whoever. Ooh, look at what that lady's doing. All right. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, she's watching. That guy right there. He's watching us in the loo. So
you should stop doing that.
Yeah.
Yes. Close the door at least.
Oh my God. Well, I have Zilch the Torysteller here.
C'est moi. Good. You got that right on the first try.
I did.
You would be amazed how many people can't.
Really?
Yeah.
It seems rather straightforward.
I would think so. It's spelled out there usually most of the time.
Well, that's the problem.
Yeah,
right
I've ruined a number of media people's careers because they can't talk right after they meet me. So.
Oh, I would love to hear those stories.
They're out there.
Oh, we're going to go find those on the internet. But Zilch, here at the Scarborough Renaissance Festival, this is a beautiful fair, I have to say.
It is gorgeous. It's lush and tree-covered and all green.
It really is.
Because of all the water we've had lately.
Oh my gosh, so much rain.
But Texas, where we are, is, I heard it once described as in a state of perpetual drought punctuated by devastating floods. And we are in the flood year.
In the flood zone.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there we have that. So, how long have you been Zilch the Torysteller?
Well, I dreamed it up in 1977. I had did my first Renaissance Festival in 1975, and then after a couple of years, as happens with a lot of people, you start out at one thing, and then you start, thinking, well, what should I do to make this a little bit more fulfilling for me? And I had a horrible job that made me really want to go back to college after that summer, and part of this, the task I was assigned to was to sort out a boxcar load of tire casings for eventual retreading.
Oh.
So I was standing on top of this boxcar load of tires. In high school, I had been in the musical Oliver, so I was singing "That's Your Funeral" to myself, and I went, "Hey, what if I came up with a gravedigger character and went around measuring people, and I'd call myself Zilch because, of course, business is really bad at a Renaissance festival, and you're always going in the hole." And I had been able to tell stories in spoonerisms since I was about 12.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I would do that to entertain my friends. And the tradition at the Minnesota Renaissance Festival in a place called Bad Manor, which at the time was not the feast hall, but was a blacksmith shop, which had a cooking demonstrations during the day. There was blacksmithing on one side of it, and then David the blacksmith built this beautiful kitchen. And members of the cast would contribute for the meal, and then when the show was over, you'd have dinner that night on what was demonstrated being cooked all day.
That's amazing.
So a friend said, "You need to come to dinner at Bad Manor." Okay, but the rule is if the first time you have dinner at Bad Manor, you have to tell a joke. So I got up and told, I think, the Feudal Frigs. And at the time, at this time in it would have been 75 or 76. I think it was my first season, might have been my second. But at the time, no, it was my first season. So 1975. At the time, the big kids at that show were Abner the Eccentric, this juggler named Penn, a magician named Teller.
You had Penn and Teller there.
Yeah, they were friends. They had traveled out together, but they weren't doing shows together. It was Teller's Silent Wonder Show and Penn the Juggler. So, and I have no idea who was at that dinner that night, but these were the people that I started watching. It was Penn, Teller, Avner. Do you know Avner the
No, I
Eccentric?
don't.
You ever seen a movie called The Jewel of the Nile?
Yes.
He was the Jewel of the Nile, El Jawal, that they broke out of prison. That's Avner.
Oh.
Silent Clown. If you see the Flying Karamazov's brothers version of Comedy of Errors done at Lincoln Center, Avner opens it.
Oh my gosh.
So, but he was doing a slack rope Silent Clown act.
That's
There were a couple
amazing.
of guys named Stone and Fool. There were a lot of influences. The precursor to SAC Theater was there as the Lambs Players, who were doing a lot of street theater and running Jacob's Ladder. So all of this influences around. And I told a story at Bad Manor, and they said, "You ought to do that and pass the hat." And it's like, ding, light went off. Whoa! Well, that would change how this show works for me. And so I started telling stories on the street, passing the hat, and there was an economic incentive to keep doing it. And then I dreamed up a gravedigger character on top of a pile of tires one summer, and did that up until I wanted to stop carrying a shovel around. And I have been on the inside and outside of Renaissance festivals. I've been the entertainment director of the Colorado Renaissance Festival in 1981 and 82. I was entertainment director
So
of the
relatively short time after you started...
people like to put me in charge of things. I have no idea why. And then I was entertainment director of the Arizona Renaissance Festival from 89 to 97, and the first 3 years the Carolina Renaissance Festival from 94 through 96, while also doing the Arizona show. And
that sounds so tiring.
Yeah, it was, and I went back to just being an entertainer in 97. And
Oh, my
haven't looked
goodness.
back. So, but that's, brief history of Zilch, right?
Brief history of Zilch. So I have to ask then, what keeps you in this particular business?
I'm not good for much of anything else at this point. There's not a whole lot of, you put on your resume, you have 46 years of doing Renaissance festivals, and it's like, well, okay.
But
There's another character I've taken to playing come wintertime in December. It's very popular, but I'll keep secretive about that. Ever since all my hair faded out to white.
I'm going to guess.
Don't say it.
All right. All right.
You have to respect the part.
I will not say Odin.
Yeah,
I will
right.
not say Odin.
There we go.
All right. So, but why Renaissance fairs and festivals specifically, as opposed to other forms of theatre?
Well, I had started pursuing a directing career, directing community theater around Minnesota right after I got out of college. My specialty for my theater degree was acting and directing, and really, once I started taking directing classes, it was like, oh, this is the good stuff, But Renaissance festivals kept calling and saying, the living was there. So it basically took up all my time.
Yeah.
And one of my uncles asked me the same thing last week, and I said, path of least resistance.
All right. I like that. So, lightning round.
All right.
All right. Who is the most amazing who is the most amazing James Bond in your opinion?
I have become a real fan of Daniel Craig.
Oh my God! Right?
Yeah. All right.
He's fantastic.
Yes.
Right answer. That is the correct answer.
Okay, good.
All right. Out of the various captains on Star Trek, Kirk, Picard, Sisko, Janeway, Archer, who do you love most?
Oh, probably Picard, and
Yeah.
he deserves to have a second round.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
who
right.
would you most like out of those captains to have a beer with?
I'm also a big Scott Bakula fan.
All right. So there we go. All right. For me, Captain Sisko, I think he would be. I think he'd be a really good.
And he played blues piano too.
and he'd
Yeah.
make a really great dinner
He
conversation.
would, absolutely.
All right. And then, in the world of Star Wars, so we're going James
All right,
Bond, now
changing-
Star Trek.
You're mixing
Star-
your yes, and of course, this being a Renaissance festival,
Why not?
This is totally appropriate conversation.
This is completely
because
in
we are
character.
one bucket of green body paint short of a science fiction convention.
We really are. This is Comic-Con, but
Oh
in
yeah,
public.
I had Boba Fett come and talk to me after my show.
Oh my
yesterday.
God! Yesterday, with
Yeah.
the Baby Yoda in the pocket.
Yes,
Oh my
you
Lord.
saw him too.
Yes.
Yeah, so of course, I played the only theme I know. I played. I had
Nice.
to.
You had to.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is actually the law.
Yeah.
Like you see.
Yeah,
that
when you
figure.
see those people, every time I see stormtroopers out here, I walk along. And you realize they can't see very well.
Yep.
And so, and nor can they hear very well. So when you're playing the tune, they have no idea where it's coming from.
That's fantastic.
All right, so
I was doing.
moving-
I was on them. I was doing Macbeth Death by Fluffy Kittens on Time Travel Weekend at the New York Renaissance Fair, and a slew of stormtroopers showed up. So I'm like, well, one of you has to be Macbeth, another of you has to be Macduff, and they, in the end,
How can you tell which one's which?
I put a wig on one of them.
all right, good.
And over the helmet, and Macbeth and Macduff get into a dodgeball competition with cats.
All right, nice.
And
of course,
in true stormtrooper fashion, neither of them could hit the other. It was amazing. It's just like, and they were each. I'm like, are either of you trying? And they're like, ah. It was amazing. So, all right, in
right.
Star Wars, who is the best Jedi, and why is it Mace Windu?
because he has a purple lightsaber. That's
Exactly.
why.
There you have
Yes.
it. There you
All
have
right.
it. I'm with Zilch the Torysteller today on Shakespeare's Coffee Break. Internet, you stay classy, San Diego.
All right,
Thank you,
good.
Zilch.
Thank you. San Diego?
San Diego. Why not?
Is that where Carbon is?
I don't know.
He knew Penn and Teller. He knew Penn and Teller. Well, not Penn and Teller. He knew Penn and Teller. Well, I guess we could say he knew Teller and Penn separately and as friends, but not as a unit. You saw the interview. You get it. Go follow Zilch the Torysteller on his Facebook page. The link is in the show notes. And like and subscribe to this show on Facebook, facebook.com/Shakespeare's Coffee Break, and on YouTube, youtube.com/Shakespeare Approves. You can also follow me on my other social media, facebook.com/Shakespeare Approves, Instagram, Shakespeare.approves, and I even have a TikTok. It's right there. Yeah. Do I use it? No. But I want you to go like it and subscribe to me on there anyway. By the way, speaking of liking and subscribing, please subscribe to me on the YouTube channel and click the bell, ring the bell, do something with the bell. What does the bell do? Are you still not there, or are you still just, being silent? Or are you a product of my imagination? Let everyone know. You're not going to find out. Anyway, we are back every Wednesday. If you subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/Shakespeare, you can become a Patreon of the Arts and get this show early. The Patreon version of the show drops on Mondays. And it's exactly the same as the regular show, except early. And then you can also like and subscribe, follow the show on Apple Podcasts. Shakespeare's Coffee Break, that'll come out on Fridays. But until next time, my dear friends, I love you, you love me. There's mutual glorious affection. It's wonderful to be back, and thank you for being here with me. Cheers. Let's have another slurp as we go out.